Hi everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Keptn Community and Developer Meeting. Today is June 10th, and I'm pretty sure we have more attendees that we have in the list here. So let me share the link to this document so everyone can add him or herself also to the list of attendees of this meeting. And I think we can get started right away. As far as I know, there are no action items, nothing to discuss from last week, or actually from 2 weeks, because last week I think we skipped the meeting. Yes. So for the contributions to the project, I actually want to start really quick before I then hand it over to Raj and to Iman that are also joining today. On a new quick start guide that I did on Keptn. So the issue was basically that the current quick start implementation was not so much of a quick start, but more a kind of a compressed version of the documentation. And the new quick start guide allows to, or aims to help to get started more quickly by using a local Kubernetes instance with K3D, and should really allow you to install Keptn locally on your machine within 5 minutes, and you don't have to get any Kubernetes cluster in the public cloud or somewhere. And basically how I did it is always described here in the quick start section. So if you go to keptn.sh and click quick start, it will bring you to the new quick start guide. The only prerequisites the quick start guide has is you have to run Docker on your machine, and you have kubectl on your machine. And we're also doing the demo installation. Then you also need to have Helm on your local machine. And then basically you create the K3D cluster, so you don't have to download K3D in advance to this guide, but you can just download it via this. You will create a small cluster with one single node, and then you will download the Keptn CLI and install Keptn. Once Keptn is installed, that usually takes about 2 minutes, depending on the size of your machine and the resources that you allow for Docker to use. Then you can also run this convenient script that Istio will also be installed, Keptn will be exposed, the bridge will be made available and open for you. So this is the new quick start guide running Keptn on your local machine, and it might also help for developing integration so that you can run everything locally. Are there any questions on this? If not, then let me jump back here. Oh, hi Moritz, I see more people joining. Thanks for joining. Then I will hand over to Raj. I think I already saw him somewhere here in the meeting.
Hi again, I'm here. Yeah.
Hi. I will stop my screen sharing, and you can go ahead. And I will just stop here. Okay.
Yeah. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me. So hi everyone, my name is Raj Babudas, and I'm a software engineer at Kiosk Native. So I'm also part of this Linux Foundation mentorship program, which I applied for Keptn project, and I'll summarize what I did in the last term. So yeah, so I'll show you two demo. One is basically it's a single demo. I'll show the new Prometheus service, new Keptn's Prometheus service. So what I did is previously the Prometheus installation is done by the Prometheus Keptn's Prometheus service, inside of it, like, so I make it independent, so it will not, the installation of Prometheus will not dependent to the Prometheus service. So that is the first one. And the second one, I added all the functionality of Prometheus SLI service to the Prometheus service, so you don't have to install Prometheus SLI service. like it will be previously it was a extra step, but you right now you don't have to do the installation of Prometheus SLI. You can directly install Prometheus service. That's all you need for the monitoring. So yeah, let's move on to the demo quickly. So let me close this. Yeah. So I have a single node GK cluster, and I'll be following this Keptn's tutorial on Prometheus. So as you all know, this is just a tutorial on how you can configure Prometheus. So I'll be following this, and I have performed some of the steps, so that I don't have to do it right now. It will take some time. That's why I'll directly move to the 13th step. That is the Prometheus installation and set up the Prometheus monitoring. Yeah. So the thing is, I have so there's nothing in my system right now. Only the Keptn installation is there. I'll show you my Keptn deployments. So as you can see, I have all the deployment and other services required for it. And I'll quickly show you my namespaces. Currently, I only have few namespaces, shock shop already. Okay. So the thing is, you do, as I said, you don't have to uh, like, uh, like right now it is independent from Prometheus service, so you have to install Prometheus separately. So to install Prometheus separately, you can install Prometheus on any namespace. So I'll install it on monitoring namespace. So I quickly create the namespace monitoring, and I'll install the Prometheus. Hope my screen is visible, right? So can you zoom in a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is installing. It will take some time. So I'll explain what will be the next steps. So the next step is you have to install Prometheus service. That is the only deployment you want to install. You have to install for monitoring. So after you install, you have to do some configuration by simple step like kubectl set env. So this is required because right now you can install Prometheus anywhere, so you have to mention the namespace where you want to install Prometheus, and the endpoint how we can access the Prometheus UI. And the third one is the alert manager. It's a temporary step, you can perform it, or like you can skip it also. So you have to perform this configuration. I think my Prometheus has been installed. Let's check the installation of this one. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. So as you can see, I have installed my Prometheus. It's 64 seconds ago. So what I'll do, I'll install Prometheus service in my Keptn namespace. So this manifest already have the namespace Keptn, so it will directly install on in the Keptn namespace. So I think I can directly apply. So once I apply, so I already installed the service. That's why it is showing no change. As you can see, the service is already installed, so it's okay. So we can configure it according to our use case. Like if I install Prometheus in default namespace, then you have to change it to default, and also here you have to change it to default, and the alert manager namespace also you have to change it to default. So I'll copy this step, and I'll directly apply. So it will make no change because I set I set this configuration already. So once I set it, I need to give access to Keptn Prometheus service to access the monitoring namespace. So this manifest contains the RBAC permissions and all. So you have to install this in the particular where you have to install this RBAC to the namespace where you have installed Prometheus. So I have installed Prometheus in the monitoring namespace. So you have to install RBAC in the Prometheus namespace. So once I apply, RBAC has been installed. Okay. So I can show you the targets. So I'll port forward this one. So if I go to the targets, you can see there is no target related to shock shop, right? So we'll configure it for the shock shop. So I'll just apply this command. Yeah. So once I go back to my targets and if I refresh it, I have to restart the server. I mean, port forward. Yeah, you can see some of the targets are coming. So this is the primary staging of the shock shop. And if I refresh it again, it is coming. It will take some time to come. So production is already set. And if I refresh it again a few more times, yeah, it will take some time. So this is the configuration part for the monitoring. So you can see something like this after this setup. And the second part which I want to discuss is the SLI. So as I already said, we have moved the SLI functionality to the Prometheus service. So you don't have to install Prometheus SLI separately. You can use Prometheus service to do all the functionalities of SLI. So the steps will be same. So it was the same step where you did it previously. Before we are using the Prometheus service version 0.6.0. So if you are using 0.4.0, then you remember this is the same step. So I'll apply this step. Different terminal. Okay, I need to go to my examples on board. Yeah, my SLI file is here. So yeah, it is configured. So this is the part to configure. So I'll add the quality. So you can see I have triggered some deliveries before this demo. So I'll trigger one more delivery for a slow build. So you can see this is a slow build which is having the version of 0.12.2. So it got failed. So I'll trigger a slow delivery. So in the next step, I'll trigger this slow build version. So once I triggered, so it will be available in this dashboard. If I refresh, yeah, you can see that the delivery got triggered, and it will take around 10 minutes. So I don't want to wait for 10 minutes. So I can show you the previous builds. So you can see these are the previous builds. So this got failed because this is a slow version. So if you want to make it successful, then you have to trigger it with a normal build, regular build. So I'll also trigger this parallelly. This is a 12.3 version, so it will work.
Can we take a look at one of the quality gates? Maybe the last one, because I assume when you triggered it and you got a score, let's say with 0%, or then oh, here the tests did not succeed. But the evaluation, yeah. Can we have a look here on the icon that it opens up the quality gate, the figure icon, the left to this the graph icon, just the one when you close this.
So you want to see this one, or
the quality gate evaluation itself. So in the line where it says evaluation 0, and then the first icon on the right side, that will give you the screen of the quality gate.
Sorry, I missed some of. Sorry, can you repeat? Actually,
Yeah, sure. So here you have the evaluation, and it says 0. And when you go to the first icon here in the line, yes, this one, then it will give you the.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So we can see it was actually fetching all the data from Prometheus, and it's not failing because it could not fetch the data, but we have proof here that it was reaching out to Prometheus and fetching all the data. That's cool.
So the actual version, this is the regular version. So it got like passed successfully. So if I check the quality gates again, this is for the regular version.
Yeah, I assume did you run this earlier when there was no SLI or no Prometheus installed, because it was actually giving you 0 response time?
This is this one. Yeah, I did it earlier, I guess, for installing the SLI. Maybe.
So I'm not sure if this run was 100% correct, but we see that it could fetch the data from Prometheus, but maybe there was some interference with runs at the same time. Also, the last one I think just failed.
Yeah, I think this is because we already have one.
Yeah, but here it's the deployment. It's interfering because this one is rolling back.
Yeah.
Can you go here to the staging on the Okay. Oh, okay. Test is still running here.
Yeah, that's all I want to show you.
And then I would just be interested in the delivery succeeded where staging has 100%. So here it's the last one here in the list. Can we take a look here? This one, yes. And in the staging environment, then we can take a look at the quality gate, or maybe this we already had. So this is interesting. Was this run where Prometheus was already installed or without the Prometheus?
With the Prometheus.
Okay. Yeah, then I actually here we would need a check for response time that the value is at least more than 0. Because if the value is 0, then it kind of, I think there has to be a check that the value has to be greater than 0.
But in development,
yeah, there is no, here we don't have the quality gate. We only added it to staging, and this is actually a check. I know that once we had the problem that if the value is not it's not a number. Can you maybe just do me one last favor and then we hand it over to Iman? But I would be interested. Can you click here on the kind of computer icon next to the one that I always ask you? Yeah, here we get the this, and when you scroll down a little bit, we can see evaluation triggered. Then it's the next event where we can see we should be able to see the data that was coming from Prometheus. If we close this and go to the Lighthouse service started, I think it is. Oh, sorry, no, it has to be the get SLI.
This one?
No, the third one. Yep, that one.
So we should be able to.
Value is 0.
Value is 0. Okay. Then I think here the response time is, yeah, we either have to take a look at the logs while the value is 0, or yeah, but if the value is 0 and passed to Keptn, then the Keptn quality gate, of course, treats it as a 0, and there was no check. So the Keptn quality gate actually was doing the right job, but I think the value should not be 0 in this case. That should only, that's kind of weird. Yeah, the tests with the slow version, they are running always quite long. Okay, but are there any questions on this refactoring issue where Raj removed the whole Prometheus out from being managed to from Keptn, and now basically the Keptn user can provide its own Prometheus installation, and with Keptn we then connect this Prometheus installation. I think this was an important part that we've seen, that Prometheus is not installed directly via Keptn, but Prometheus can be installed earlier. It can be another version of Prometheus, not the one that Keptn usually was installing, and Keptn is still able to configure this and also connect to fetch the SLIs.
So this is the tutorial if you want to visit the tutorial. I'm in the document docs.
So there is no real need for the Prometheus SLI service anymore, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So we maybe should put a, I don't know, deprecated, don't use it, blah, 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 description in the README of that service, because
We already did.
yeah,
Yep. There's a warning saying that it will be deprecated in 30 days. And then we'll archive it.
Let's just share real quick. So we have mentioned this here, and then after, I think we agreed on a time frame of like 30 days, and after 30 days it will be archived, and we won't accept any issues or pull requests on this service, because the new Prometheus service that Raj was doing now a great job on what is the default way of doing this. And if we don't want to configure Prometheus with the new service, then you don't have to. You can just use it as an SLI service. But I think in total, it will also save some resources, because it's only one service running, only one distributor running, and the two functionalities have now been merged. So all this now in the Prometheus service. Okay, any more questions? Okay, then I will be handing it over to Hemant, who also did a great job on this project. And I will ask you to share your screen.
Yeah, hey there, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I'll just quickly share my screen. So I worked on like a Keptn CLI template service generation project where I worked on the CLI where I initiated a command. I created a command which allows you to help boost your Keptn service easily, right? And it also helps in easier onboarding and development of your own Keptn service that you can deploy. And it's basically nothing but automation of setting up the service template, which I'll just show quite shortly. And we have also like a Docker compose file if you want to like test your service locally by running both your service and distributors. So the good thing about this command is it automatically detects what version your cluster is running at, and it smartly clones only that version of the template that we have received. So you can view my original issue and the pull request in the respective links. So yeah, as mentioned, Keptn service has been a long way. Like there were docs beforehand of how to create your own service and onboard it onto your project. And there was also like a repo. We have a repo, which is nothing but a template for Golang to write your own service. So the thing was in order to use the service, there were certain steps. Like you had to replace each string occurrence of various instances, like your service name, what cloud events do you want to listen to, and there are lots of things just to set it up. And this essentially helps you to easily develop your Keptn service. So what I basically did was I integrated this within the Keptn CLI itself, so that it does all this for you. So you can just directly run the command and get started on developing a service instantly. So how did I achieve this? If you go to my PR, I have explained step by step of how I achieved it. Initially, we are kind of like cloning the repo, and we are making some string occurrences, and then we are like cleaning up stuff some so that everything is efficient. And that is how we are doing. But recently I got a comment that instead of using GoGit as an additional dependency, we can directly use GitHub API. So just to quickly show, just to quickly like give some context, there are some tags. So depending on what version of Keptn cluster you are on, there are various versions of the service template. So like for the latest release, we have 0.8.3. So if my cluster is running 0.8.3, I have to like clone 0.8.3. But the smart thing is later, let's say there's an release, that's like a patch release, something like 0.8.4. And there's a major release, something like 0.9. So when a user tries to template, like clone the service, of course, 0.8.9 is not available in this repo. So it will automatically detect fallback and take the latest version that is available. So the PR is still under review, and I'm still working on converting from GoGit, using the GoGit library to plain clone the repository to use the GitHub API itself and achieve the same. So that is currently in progress. So just to quickly show you how you can use this is as Yugen mentioned, because of like as we have a new quick start, you can like set Keptn up in 5 minutes. And let us say I already have my Keptn set up. So let us create a service. So how do I create a service? So let me just create a directory Keptn service, and let me cd into it. Now all I need to do is write Keptn generate Keptn service, and I do not know what parameters to pass. So let's generate help. So help tells me that it helps me to create new Keptn service with the image that I have posted on Docker and the events I wish to listen for. And for more purposes, I can visit this link, which is nothing but the same template link which I just showed you. So it also detects my Keptn cluster version, and it sets up everything and it has 3 parameters that you have to give in. You have to give what is your service name, what is the image name that is on Docker Hub, and what are the Keptn cloud events that you wish to listen to. So by default, it listens to all the events like with a angle bracket. But let's say you just want to listen to like events problem, or you want to listen to a cloud event which says deployment finished. You can do that too. So as the example says, let's go by the example. Let's say Keptn generate Keptn service, and I pass my service name. I'm just going to call it simple service. So I'm going to call it simple service, and let's say an image. Although I do not have an image hosted, let's try it. So that is my GitHub username, and I'm going to call it simple service. And what are the events I wish to listen to? I wish to listen to like just deployments finished. So I'm just going to copy it here from the help. And so it says cloning the template, replacing my image, and creating my service name. So now I see there's a folder named simple service. So if I go into the folder, you can see there's a template that is ready. But just to ensure that this is an actual service that is ready for deployment, let's just check the deployment file, the service file. So you can see the image has been replaced over here of whatever the image I have passed. All the labels have been replaced and everything is in place. So this is an actual service, and it also listens to a NATS cluster. So in order to do that, I have posted another like PR, so that a person can, once this is included, you will have the Docker file within the cloned template itself. So once this is merged and once this is included, a person can just expose their Keptn NATS cluster temporarily just for testing purposes, and they can go Docker compose up, which will start both the service and the distributor. So once my simple service that this service is generated, I can simply go follow and I can just do kubectl apply F. This will apply it into my cluster. So that is about it. Any questions like related to the scene?
Can you again explain the part with the Docker Compose? I think in the last meeting we have not yet talked about this, so I think that's very interesting to allow local development.
Yes. So what I basically imagined was, so I created a Docker file, which it does nothing but it builds whatever is in the service locally, and it also pulls the Keptn service. It also puts the Keptn distributor, distributor from Docker Hub, and it exposes it. So in order for it to run locally, the distributor must talk to your Keptn NATS cluster, right? But that is inside the namespace. So in order to just expose it temporarily, you can create a simple load balancer. You can apply this load balancer, which will expose the Keptn NATS cluster template. It will just act like a port forward. So it will expose those ports so that the distributor can talk to it and your service will be ready for local development. So this is the PR and it kind of works. I have tested it in my locally, but I'm still looking out for the better alternative for this, because every time a person has to in order for the distributor that is running in the Docker container, for it to talk to your Keptn NATS cluster that is running in your Keptn namespace, it is not possible unless you expose it using a load balancer, get an external IP and put it. So the whole process can also be simplified with a bash script so that the user does not need to manually apply this. They can just go ahead with a bash script. So that is the latest development. I hope that explains.
Yeah, I think that if I get it correctly, this is more or less the use case where we have Keptn running in the, let's say, somewhere in the public cloud, and then this service running locally on the developer's machine. And this is very similar to a remote execution plane that is also supported by Keptn. But for the remote execution plane, we are doing this a little bit differently because we are using here the Keptn API endpoint to connect to Keptn, and then it will poll for events. And I know that we have more maintainers here on the call. Maybe they can comment on this. What should be maybe the best way how to do this? If it should be aligned with the polling, or if this is actually a great idea to run it with Docker Compose, or to run it somehow locally and then being able to connect directly to NATS.
So in my approach, what it temporarily does it just exposes your NATS cluster and provides you an external IP that's simply that you can replace in your Docker Compose file and run. So for that particular, for your development period, your NATS cluster is basically exposed to the outer world, which is supposed to be internally inside. But once you're done, you can destroy this CRD and it will be closed up again. So I also looked into the execution plane API, but then doing something similar here would require a development of another API to do something simple.
I think really cool what you did here, Heman, because this is another approach to open up the control plane for the execution plane. As Jürgen explained, we go the way of pulling events when we are running offsite, but this would be another approach. And I think when we have, or when Keptn users wants to do that to access the NATS cluster instead of pulling because of limitations, or because they want to get the events immediately because pulling takes some seconds, up to a couple of seconds, then this is the way to go. Really like it, yeah.
And actually, I don't know when we will tackle this, but in the future, we also skip the pooling mechanism and just use the WebSocket API of NUTS itself, which can be exposed now and used via our Go SDK.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we have that WebSocket connection and don't need to pull anymore. So that would be then the default way, but I don't know when we will actually tackle this.
Yeah, I think it's really cool here. Only thing what I would change, maybe it's possible to not use a load balancer because it usually requires some more resources in the cloud, and maybe using a node port or a cluster IP that you already have, since it's for local development and not so much for production environments. Then we might not need a load balancer, but this is smaller things that we could change. But in general, I think it's a great idea to really help the developing of these kind of services or integrations and developing locally, because it's way faster. Just because I'm curious, did you try also to use the wave of the polling and to basically set the other environment variables in the distributor, so that that the distributor does the polling instead of a direct connection to NUTS?
No, I haven't tried that approach. Maybe we can do that. Yeah, I'll just get back to that. I think I still need to go in depth and read about how the polling exactly works, so that the distributor can poll instead of NATS. But that would still mean the NATS cluster would be like inside the namespace and not exposed, right? So that would still cause the error of a developer locally accessing it from his machine onto like a cloud. So
yeah, with the polling, it's still like the NUTS cluster, and it's still the distributor, but the distributor can work in two modes. The one mode is connected to NUTS, and the other one is connected to the Keptn API and then polling for the events that you are subscribing for. It's working in a different way. For the integration that you are writing, like for the service itself, this will always get the events, but the distributor on the one side, it will be connected directly to NUTS if it runs, for example, directly in the cluster. And the other mode is that it will do the polling, and then it's connected to the Keptn API, if I got it correct. But Bernd or Johannes, if you want to comment on this, then feel free to correct.
Yes, and if you use the polling mechanism, there's actually also some limitations. I think you cannot use wildcards when you want to subscribe to it. So you have that flexibility when having NUTS directly exposed. So I think for development, it doesn't matter if you use NUTS directly or via the polling mechanism. In practice, then, if you need to use wildcards for some use cases, it would be better to have direct access to NUTS. But as I said, that would be another argument for actually start using a WebSocket connection to NUTS and expose that one by default.
Mm-hmm. So in kind of both approaches are valid. Yeah. Are there any plans? Do we want to continue this polling, or is it actually in the long run it will be?
No, we want to. We definitely want to get rid of this polling. It works, yes, but it's certainly no perfect solution. So.
Okay. Yeah. Then actually, Hima, then I don't want to point in the wrong direction. So if the polling will be deprecated. If the deprecation of the polling is somewhere on the roadmap, then actually the approach that you chose is already the correct one. So very nice implementation. Cool. So let me have a look here on the agenda. Or are there any more questions? I don't want to cut the discussion. If not, let me just have a look at the document again. So there are no more agenda items for today. If anyone wants to kind of discuss something else, we still have a couple of minutes left. If not, then we can also close this meeting a little bit earlier and we meet again next time. I just allow 1 or 2 minutes or a couple of seconds for questions. And just as a heads up, there will be also a new blog coming on the Keptn's blog. I think there was already also a new blog from Johannes from last week. I think it was not directly published on the Keptn's blog, but on the engineering blog of Dynatrace, right?
Yeah, we published it there, just showing how Keptn open source is maintained from an agile point of view, and also how we are doing now sprint planning as well as release planning. And not to forget, also this blog post points out how we are working with contributions, as we are looking for contributions and welcome everyone to contribute to Keptn. Just take a look into the blog post, read it. But if you want to get started, go to GitHub, grab an issue, and we'll assign it to you, and are happy to help for your contribution then.
Yeah, exactly. We have been approached also in the CNCF Slack from a couple of interested folks. So we do have a list of good first issues, and they are actually quite nice to get started because they don't know, they don't need deep knowledge of the project already. So it should be easier to get started, and then you can make your way into the more like sophisticated contributions and deep dives, as Raj and Hemant also did with helping us here. So thanks again, both of you, for your presentations and your contributions to the project. Really cool. Then I think we can close it here. I'm also looking forward, Raj and Hemant, if you are writing a blog on your mentorship and how you liked it with the Keptn team, and hopefully you still continue to contribute. So we are really looking forward also to hardening these integrations, and or if you find another issue that you want to work on, feel free to just assign, let us know, and we can assign it to you. So we really hope that you continue to be part of the Keptn community. That's very much appreciated.
Yeah, I have a blog. I'll publish that tonight.
Cool. And then maybe we can also edit here. So just edit here, and then we will watch it, so the community also knows this, and we can tweet it also. Okay, then I think we can close it here. Thanks everyone for joining for today. Oh, there's there is one question, and we will link the PR in this document. Hemant, can you take care of this?
Just a second. I think I'm unable to view the question. Can you give me a second?
Was it here before? I think I have it somewhere.
I have it open. Even the question is basically, can you link your pull request here in the document?
Okay, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'll link
Thanks.
all the 3 pull requests into the document. I'll do that.
Perfect. Thanks.
Perfect. Just add them here and have a look. Okay, perfect. Then thanks everyone, and see you all next time.
See ya. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.